Welcome to the first episode of the Suburban Media Gaming Podcast, or SMG-Cast for short. I am not Josh. I'm on Twitter at @not_Josh1. With me today we have Duncan.
AKA Too Elusive, everybody.
Too Elusive on YouTube and at 2ELU on Twitter.
That's right.
We also have other Josh.
Hey, also known as Helios, and I have a Twitter that I don't remember, so I'll let you guys know later.
So he is on Twitter, but he doesn't know how to find himself.
I don't use it often, so whatever.
And finally, we have Andy from Andy HG, the popular YouTube channel, Andy HG.
Yeah.
I always forget your numbers on your YouTube channel.
I don't know.
Thanks. 07 or something? I don't know. You have numbers.
Yeah, numbers.
He doesn't even remember. Great.
He really doesn't.
It's like, are you talking about my PSN account, or are you talking about my...
Your YouTube channel.
Your YouTube channel.
You know, the
I
one
would
that...
love to give your PSN account to everybody.
Everybody. So
Everybody.
They can
Actually, do
like
I even
mess
have
around
you
with
added as a PSM?
Probably.
I'm pretty
We'll
sure
discuss
I do.
that later.
Yeah.
Before we get into our topic
Next
today,
episode.
before we get into our topic today, we can talk a little bit about what we've been playing recently. I just picked up Red Dead Redemption 2, which came out on Friday. I've been playing that. It's a lot of fun. I haven't finished it yet, so I can't give any final opinions on it, but I like it. It. It's a good sequel / prequel to the other one. So
Good stuff.
yeah, and it's beautiful.
I've heard from many that it's beautiful. I've heard.
It's 2 discs. It's a 2-disc PlayStation 4 game.
For Blu-ray?
Yeah. There's an install disc and a play disc. And also you have to install data from the play disc.
I never thought those become back.
I know. I opened the case and it was 2 discs and I was like, this didn't come with the soundtrack, did it? And it was install disc. I was like, oh no, we're at it again. Here we go.
Wait. If I remember correctly, that game is supposed to be like 11 gigabytes.
It's huge.
If I'm not mistaken.
I had to. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I had to delete 3 games to get it on there.
No. It's definitely bigger than 11 gigs.
I'm assuming the world is just really
Massive.
Oh yeah, it's
big.
huge. One time, I just to fill out the map, I jumped onto a train and then had my character go into camp out mode so that I didn't drain any of his stats, and I just let him ride the train around the map.
How long did that take?
I left and made a sandwich. It started going while I was eating lunch.
Wow. So the equivalent of a... Well, actually, no. It's even longer than the Knights of the Round summon in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. Ugh.
If I have to list any new games that I'm playing right now, I've been bouncing between 2, which I've finished, and I'm working on the 3rd one. The first one that I've beaten was Marvel's Spider-Man.
Nice.
That was a game that I literally did not put down until I 100%ed.
It's good.
Yes, and even though I have just done all of that, I still want to go back and play. And that's just because I love how I want to say the game has evolved, as Spider-Man games as a whole has evolved very well. Don't get me wrong, the first one I played was on the PS1.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man.
Yes.
Well, see, you have to appreciate Spider-Man on the PS4 for standing tall among the other great Spider-Man games like Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man. We got real creative with these Spider-Man names, but The Amazing Spider-Man or the Ultimate Spider-Man was the one that let you play as Venom, which was an amazing Spider-Man game on the PS2 and the Xbox.
I wanted to play that one. That one I didn't get to play, unfortunately. But you said it was really good, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out if I happen to find a copy anywhere.
I have it on the original Xbox somewhere.
I don't have an original Xbox, so that's the sad
Sucker.
part. But what was it? Yeah, that one was really good. And then my next favorite that came after that was Spider-Man 2, part of the movie titles. Yeah. And that's just because that's the first one where they actually made Spider-Man very freeformy and had more of a sandbox approach to things, and the web slinging was a lot more realistic by Spider-Man standards.
Yeah.
And then you got this new one that's brought to us by the makers of Ratchet and Clank, and it was just absolutely
Insomniac
phenomenal.
knocked it out of the park. They did a great job.
But as for the other 2 games I've been playing, it was Mega Man 11, which I'm happy to see that Capcom finally revived the Blue Bomber after we've been getting shafted by these other companies who tried to revive the franchise. Like, for those that made Gunvolt, great game, absolutely love it. And heck, 20XX was also a nice little filler game for the Mega Man franchise as well. It's more of a roguelike Mega Man, but it was still a really fun title to play. But then you got the other one that just... I'm not getting into that.
The Kickstarter that shall not be named.
Yes. You mean Unsung Stories?
But that's like almost all of them, though.
Well, I mean, there's that one, and then the same guy that started the Mighty Number 9 Kickstarter did the Mega Man Legends successor, which was a Kickstarter for about a week before it got taken down. They're like, we found funding elsewhere, guys! Woohoo!
Like he tried starting up other campaigns for a game that hasn't even been finished yet. Like who does that?
I know that Mighty Number 9 hasn't come out, and it's also in the middle of 3 delays, but we have a new Kickstarter for a new game that's based on another one of our old games. So
It's like-
give us money for that, please.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I like the way it looked. It looks really cool, but please finish your other project first.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still waiting for the 3DS version. 3DS PS Vita version.
You mean the
I'm
version
waiting-
that's never gonna happen?
I'm waiting for a Wii U version that doesn't brick the console.
Dang.
And my Wii version, my 360 version, and my PS3 version.
And online multiplayer?
Oh, you mean... I mean, it's there, just no one cares about it. So it might as well not be there, I guess.
And finally, game number 3 is Dragon's Quest 11.
Which I feel like you're like waist deep in right now, right?
Yes. I have not beaten that yet, but it's gonna take me a while too because, well, it's a very lengthy RPG title, which is what I expect from a Dragon's Quest game. But I haven't had fun with a Dragon's Quest title this much since Dragon's Quest 8 on the PS2 and the 3DS. Like I would say something about about 9 and 10, but I haven't played those. And I felt that 7 was just a little too sluggish for me. It's not a bad game, don't get me wrong. Just takes a while for the momentum to build.
A little slow.
Yes. How about you, Helios?
I mean, because I recently jumped into the Switch train, and by that I mean like around my birthday, so I'm a little late to that Switch party, but I mean, I'm there. I'm close to beating Super Mario Odyssey, which is turning out good. I can definitely see, though, both sides in saying how that game is one of the better Mario games, or it's not that good.
I'm in the second camp.
I can see both ways, but me, because I grew up with Mario, it's easier for me to lean more towards it's the best one ever. I still don't agree that it is the best one ever, but it's actually fairly decent. More than I don't like it. You know, I've been slaving away at Mario Kart 8 because I like getting good at that game. And I just recently started playing Sonic Mania. Yes, I've been playing Sonic Mania. And
it's good. I'm not a huge fan of 2D Sonic games.
I love it.
But it is good.
Top-notch quality.
I got the statue version of the original run for Sonic Mania. So the one where you flip the switch and go, Sega.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, besides those, the only other new PS4 game I've been playing was the new Dissidia Final Fantasy fighting game. And that's just because I love it. I like it even though I still sometimes miss the PSP games. But I miss them for the wrong reasons. I miss those games because those games were busted. So,
Yeah.
there was no such thing as balance in that game.
I mean, when you're able to warp all over the place as X-Death and, like, not get touched by literally anything.
That's pretty broken.
Yeah.
It needed fixing. But, again, I play it. I like it. I mean, that's really all that's new, besides, like, other PS4 stuff. Alright, you're up. HG.
So I've recently been playing the guitar, and they come in all kinds of flavors. And
hold up 1 second. I accidentally sent him the music.
My
Sent him the video games.
Andy HDEXE
There
file
you
is
go.
not working correctly.
We booted the wrong one.
So, I recently been having the sandwich. It was really good.
God dang it.
And it had a nice sauce to it.
Stop.
All right,
I'm pretty sure I put him in video games.
Who sent Andy the sandwich?
sent him the food?
Oh, Red Robin.
Yum.
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
So besides the guitar and the sandwich, I've also been playing Undertale on the Switch because I'm a horrible person.
Wait, what makes you horrible?
I think it's because he's very, very late for that train.
I don't worry, I'm in the same boat. I played about 45 minutes of Undertale, and I have not touched it again. Just because I started playing it right when the hype was big, and before like Undertale like picked up, my friend was like, "Hey, play Undertale. It's really good." And I was like, "All right, that's fair. I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale," which was one of the biggest mistakes that I ever made. Because
why is that?
Because it got incredibly popular, and it got to a point where it finally did go on sale, and I bought it, and I played 45 minutes of it, and I'm still in like the intro areas, and I'm just like, oh, I'm really bored about this, like with this game. Like I've heard so much about it, I don't want to play this right now. So I like put it down, and I haven't gone back to it, and it's been like 2 years at this point. I just haven't gone back to finish it yet.
Look, what made Undertale really hype is mainly the characters that the game has. That the characters easily brought the game to life, especially since you're playing as a silent protagonist who, in all honesty, looks really bland and like he shops at Walmart on a daily basis. But I understand why they did it, because he or she is supposed to be gender neutral.
It's supposed to be projection, so you can see yourself as the character.
So I know it was by design.
Yeah.
And it's as close as a mother as we'll ever get.
Yes.
But yeah, how are you enjoying the game so far? Or how far have you gotten?
Ooh, I feel terrible.
Why do you say that?
Why terrible specifically?
He's in the middle
Anyone
of
who
his
plays the
genocide
game
run.
will understand.
I mean, I played the game too.
Genocide run right now.
Is that why?
No, I'm making that up. I have no idea.
Wait, is that what's happening?
I'll let everyone who's listening interpret what I'm saying. Take it how they will.
I'm taking it as you're on a genocide run.
This is from someone who was trying to do pacifist. Keyword trying.
Well, that game is meant to be played however you feel like, so.
Yeah.
And besides that, I have been playing Overwatch for the Jokic Revenge. And currently, Tracer is my go-to character right now for that. Besides that, I've also taken an interest in Spider-Man on the PS4. Really fun.
It's a good train to jump on.
I was going to now see. By that, I mean he's been messing around with the selfie mode for like 3 hours.
Oh, that was funny.
If you follow me on Twitter, I might be sharing some of my selfies that I make. My inappropriately timed selfies.
I should probably put mine up as well, actually.
Like one I'm probably going to show to the rest of the guys here. They're hilariously bad.
Yeah. As selfies are in that game.
They should be.
I don't think I took any selfies. I did get a really cool one where I have Spider-Man right in the center of the A for the Avengers A. And you can kind of see the city in the background.
Wait, isn't that the one where the building is burning and the cops are like trying to recover?
Selfie in a burning building.
Yeah.
I don't know. My favorite selfie is the one that they managed to recreate the old Spider-Man cartoon meme where they're pointing at each other. Yeah,
that's the two Spider-Man in this PS4 engine. It's so good, so good.
My favorite selfie that I've seen so far was there's one that this guy took where he's fighting the Kingpin, and just as the Kingpin is about to punch him, like you see the Kingpin's fist coming in, and meanwhile Spider-Man is like taking a selfie, like, "Hoo hey."
I also love that game because when you're walking around the street, you can just like high five and like just like interact with the people walking around. It's
I did like that. That
it's
was
so
really
much fun
nice.
to just like walk around and be like, "Yo, what's up? I'm Spider-Man."
Do the web shooting thing.
Do a flip.
I thought that was a nice touch, and it definitely I like it because it's different from like other games where those people are static, regular NPCs that you just talk to once, and once you talk to them once, you never talk to them again.
There was another game that did that.
It makes the city feel like alive. Like it feels like you're actually in the city, right? Because there's just like people that you interact with, and they're like, "Oh, yo, it's Spider-Man!" Like it makes the city feel like its own character to a point.
Yes. There was legit another game that did that though, just as well. It was the very first Infamous.
Okay.
Very first game.
I've never played Infamous. So.
You really should. Like if you're playing as Good Cole, heck, even in the beginning of the game before you earn your stripes as a hero, the people there will treat you like trash. Honestly, that's the hardest thing about the first Infamous. You're trying not to smack people around who are just talking absolute trash about you to your face. I'm like, you do realize I can light you up like a Christmas tree, right?
But other than that, I've also been playing stuff that is going to be coming out for the channel, but I'm not going to spoil what they are. You'll find out.
All right.
Cool beans.
All right, so I guess we can move on to our topic today, which is going to be everybody's personal favorite and least favorite Mario games. We're going to put a limit of 5, so we're going to talk about probably our 5 favorite Mario games. All of us know about what that list is, and then our 5 least favorite Mario games, which is going to be incredibly opinion-based.
Yes.
But I'll start. So my list, we'll start number 5. I put Mario Galaxy, the first one.
Okay.
Tied with Mario 64 because I couldn't put one above the other. Mm-hmm. I like Mario Galaxy as a platformer because it introduced all of the gravity mechanics, which made the game really fun and moved the camera around a lot. Number 4, I put Super Mario 2, as in the Doki Doki Panic with Mario skin on it, because that was the first Mario game that I played when I played Super Mario Advance, which was a Game Boy Advance port, which is a really good port. Number 3, I put Paper Mario, the original Paper Mario on Nintendo 64. It's not a traditional Mario game, but I love RPGs and the Paper Mario, like all of the mechanics and the fighting and the story itself and all of the characters. I absolutely love that game. Number 2, I put Super Mario World, which was another Game Boy port that when I originally played it, it was Super Mario Advance 2, but I cannot tell you how many hours I've poured into that game because there's so many like secrets and the Star World and all that fun jazz. And then number 1, if you know me, I put Super Mario Sunshine at the very top. That's a game that I can play any day of the week and get like 100% completion. Like, I played that game once. I just like started it when I woke up in the morning and I beat it before I went to bed. It's a game that I can play that every day for like a week and I wouldn't get bored of it. So if you wanna go through your list there, Duncan.
Alrighty. So yeah, by the way, that's a very good selection.
Thank you.
On your list. I did expect Sunshine at the top. I'd be questioning you if you didn't. But now the 5 that I'm going to list is in no particular order at all. I just really love playing these games.
I think we're just going to like make it clear now.
Yeah.
Even with the placement, wherever the placements are, it's not that we like one over the other. These are just generalization.
Yep, it's just the games that we pick that we'll go back to like every time, basically. Mm-hmm. So for my number 1, and actually it is at the very top for me personally, it's Super Mario World.
You just said it's no order.
hey, I just want to make that note. It's like there's the one spot.
This is in no order except for this one, which is definitely better than everything else.
But yeah, for me, it's Super Mario World on the SNES and also the Game Boy Advance port that I got to play later. I just like the fact that, one, it was a game where Yoshi was introduced, and you're able to have an extension of Mario's abilities when you're on Yoshi, especially when he utilizes the elemental shells that he eats up. There's
blue shell.
Yeah, blue shell was
broken one.
Blue Yoshi was just so broken, but it was really rewarding when you got.
He was also really hard to get because you had to get to the very end of the star map before you could get to it.
Yep. There was also the fact that it introduced the cape power-up, which is by
another broken.
That is by far my most favorite power-up in all of Mario.
It is a good power-up. I love that power-up. I love Super Mario World is so good because it also has so much variety to the world.
Yes.
Because like what comes to mind is there's the your regular plains level where you begin, and then there's some cave levels after that, and then you got the haunted forest after, and you got mountain levels, and then the haunted forest, and then water level. It's so good.
Not to mention, I really like the visuals for Super Mario World. Like, it's really hard to mess up Mario visuals.
No, it was a good step. It was a good step up, because before that was Mario, like the original 8-bit Marios on the NES, and like Super Mario 2, I put on my list, but the visuals on Super Mario World, as far as 2D platformers go, blows it out of the water. It's also one of like the most popular ones to ROM hack too.
Oh yeah!
Like,
oh my god!
Every ROM hack and every challenge ROM and everything like that is all Super Mario World.
Kaizo Mario.
Kaizo Mario. If one, you think you're just really good at the game, or if you want to pull a prank for your friend, which was the original reasoning as to why it was made.
Yes, I remember that too. Those are good times. But after that, I'm gonna put these two in the exact same placement, because I feel like one is an extension of the other and just done with better controls. It's Mario 64 and Mario Odyssey. Like 64 was like the building block that set up for Mario 3D games, and I felt that Odyssey perfected that 3D platforming experience. Like, you don't have the gravity controls that Galaxy brings, or the FLUDD that Sunshine brings.
Galaxy is also less of a 3D platformer. Like, it takes place in 3D space, and there's 3D platforming sections, but it's less of... Because, like, Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Mario Odyssey, those are all kind of, like, open, sandboxy, like, pseudo-explore... Like, there's not a lot of exploration, but you're still, like, going through the map, like, finding things. Mario Galaxy is, like, point A to point B. And Mario Galaxy is really good, because when it introduces something, it's like... Here is the gravity mechanic, and now here's an entire level that uses it really well.
Pretty much.
So, like, that's where I see, like, the difference between those two. But.
And not only that, but I feel like with Odyssey, when I say it's an extension, like, you have the whole Cappy mechanic. You can really skip a lot of the levels if you know what you're doing with Cappy.
Mario Odyssey is all sequence breaking. Like,
yes.
And if you see a speedrun for that game, it's just like, let's see how many times I can bounce on the hat to sequence break this freaking level.
And that's what I liked about both of those games. You didn't have to follow exactly what the game wanted you to do. They're both really good sequence breakers, which is why I put them in the exact same area. And then after that, it's definitely Galaxy 1 and 2. Again, same reason as Mario Odyssey is 64. Galaxy 2 is more, for me at least, is more of an extension of the first Galaxy.
I can understand that. I didn't enjoy 2 as much as I had liked 1, because I thought 1 was like super fun romp, and I loved just all the things that it brought to the game. But like 2 was, I don't know, it just kind of bored me a little bit. So
I can understand.
That's why I split them up on my personal list. But
that's also a reason. The reason why a lot of people say when you beat Mario Galaxy, the first one, do not immediately jump into 2. You want to take a break and play something else and then come back to it later, because it feels like an actual very long game that's going to bore you if you keep at it.
Yeah.
But if you want to experience the meat of both games, play one first, take a break, play the second. You'll appreciate them both, and not only that, but the soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal. My goodness. And then after those, it's Sunshine, to which Josh here has already covered, so I'm not even going to go. Well, actually, no. There is one thing I will go into with Sunshine. The controls are absolutely astounding. I love it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I also really like the FLUDD mechanics. I really don't understand why people didn't like Sunshine, to be honest.
Yeah, people bring up some good points sometimes. I think that I can definitely agree with a lot of the points that they bring up, or maybe not agree, but see where they're coming from. Like, a lot of the people say that FLUDD is very different from Mario 64, because there's a lot of points where you're relying on FLUDD. A couple of the upgrades aren't used as well as they could be, like the rocket nozzle and the turbo nozzle. Like, they're fun, but they're not utilized as well as they could be within the game. And the secret levels, and by secret levels, I mean the ones where you have FLUDD taken away from you, not ones that are hidden from the game because they're mandatory. But that, and it's a lot harder to sequence break Sunshine than it is in 64.
It definitely
like 64 had a big, like, if you enter the first level of Mario 64, there's also like a bunch of other stars that you can get there. But in Mario Sunshine, there's very few places you can sequence break huge chunks of the game.
It took more of a Metroid Fusion approach where they want you to do this.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to sequence break the game. I also feel that they should have made the parts interchangeable, like on the fly. That would be really amazing. But it is what it is. I still enjoyed the game nonetheless. And finally, the last one that I gotta put on this list is Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. Now, this was a very tough choice to make between Paper Mario: A Thousand Year Door and Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. The only reason why I went with Superstar more is because that's the game that allowed me to experience a Mario RPG for the first time on the GBA. I didn't start with RPG on the SNES or any of the Paper Marios beforehand. Superstar Saga is what introduced me to it and it basically told me that Mario can definitely work as an RPG. Not only that, but I like the combo attacks, the humor. I also love the little gibberish stuff they gave for Mario and Luigi when they're talking. But it was overall a really fun title.
It's a good experience, yeah.
Yes. How about you, Helios?
Oh, okay. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. All right. As far as top 5 Mario games goes, for number 5, I'm definitely gonna put in Super Mario 64.
Okay.
Only because back then, when that was the newest Mario game, back then I didn't really have a Nintendo 64 and the game for it, so I would always either find myself going to a friend's house to play it or borrowing his entire setup just so I can play it myself. And I would have a lot of fun with that game because it's like, because like as you said, the sequence breaking and all that stuff was always a fun thing to do. Just because I select 1 star doesn't necessarily mean I'm limited to having to do that one section. I also appreciate it because that's also the first game where I felt like I actually wanted to get better, because I remember getting really upset in that game when I would like mess anything up.
When that freaking Koopa outraced you to the top of Mount Bob-omb and you're just like, screw you! I can run faster than that. I just got knocked off by a boulder.
Or when you lose the penguin.
Yeah, basically, like, it's those two, I mistimed a jump, or maybe I didn't take this way correctly, or I got hit because of BS. Like, I remember, that's when I first discovered how salty I can get. But at the same time, I used that to get better. Also, this is more of a minor memory, and it's another reason why I don't think I can ever forget 64. When another friend of mine tried to borrow the game, that friend that we used to hang out with that had it, for some reason got really upset about that, to the point where he literally left the room crying.
Oh!
And no, it's to the point where that friend had to basically get the game himself and let my friend borrow it.
Wow, what level did he play that made him cry?
I don't know. That's the thing, I don't remember.
You're dying.
Would you guys be judgmental if I said last I saw when he turned it off was the hub world?
I would be very judgmental.
But yeah, that definitely is not going to make me forget. Sunshine is definitely another one that I really like because it's literally just takes the Super Mario 64 setup and formula and like, it's going to be weird because of how much people don't like this game, but in many senses, I actually believe that it made it better. Specifically, as you said, and I'm pretty sure you brought this up as well, is just the control.
Oh yeah.
Because here's the main issue I had with 64 with certain controls. I don't remember if you guys have this issue where turning Mario around like on the dime, sometimes he'll like turn around, like he'll snap and just turn around, or sometimes where you have to go the other direction, instead of just doing that, he has to like walk around and then turn that direction.
It's kind of like you're driving him, basically.
And because that happened, there have been several times in 64 where that would cause me to like lose a life.
Yeah.
Like, especially because of how much like life and death situations are in that
Am I
game.
playing Resident Evil? What's going on?
Mario, but with tank controls.
That is even worse if you're playing on the DS with the D-pad.
That's why when people
Mario 64 on the DS was a decent port, but
that D-pad, though.
That's why I recommend you play it on 3DS.
Yes.
At least you have analog control there. But and in Sunshine, I never had that issue. The times that I f***ed up in Sunshine, always felt like it was me. It was me, not because the game offered me poor controls. And that's what I like about it, is that I can honestly tackle this game, and if anything happens, it's not the game's fault, it's my fault. Whereas with 64, 40% of the time I was being like, it's your fault, game! This time, yes. But okay, that's what I love about it. I just think it just makes the levels easier. And for people that are complaining about the game's difficulty level, get good.
I agree. I agree.
But, like Mario Sunshine also it improved the controls, but it was unique because Mario 64 was the logical next step for a Mario game, because you got Mario games where you're grass area, ice area, lava level, castle area. So Mario 64 made a lot of sense to follow Mario. It's like Super Mario World, Super Mario, those games made sense to continue in that. Where Mario Sunshine, it still has that. There's a lava level, and there's a grassy area where you start off in Bianco Hills, and it's kind of this is the first level. But it also has the whole game feels like it takes place in the same area. When you're in the hub world and you look over the horizon, you see the amusement park that you shoot yourself out of a cannon to get to, and you can see the volcano where you end up, and it's really cool that you can the entire world feels like it's one big level that you're exploring.
Yeah,
and the music is amazing.
Yeah, I can agree with
I love the music in Sunshine.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of my other favorite things.
That's one of the reasons that I can never forget that game, is just the music.
No, I completely agree. Moving on from that, I actually really, really like, because it's arguably the best NES game, and definitely the best Mario game on the NES, Super Mario Brothers 3.
The Mario secret level. Oh no. The lost levels.
I'm not that masochistic. But yeah, I just really, really liked Mario Brothers 3, mainly because
Mario Brothers 3 is really good.
It took the first one and gave it more variety with levels. I think that's where it started. And granted, I think it went a little over exaggerated, but I don't see it as a problem. It really went all out with the power-ups.
It did.
You have your regular super mushroom, your fire flower, I think it's the first one to introduce a type of flying capability with the leaf. But then they also gave extensions of those power-ups. With the leaf, you also had the Tanuki suit, which not only gives you the power to fly, but you also have the ability to turn into a statue and gives you slight invulnerability to stuff. And then you have the Hammer Brothers power-up.
Hammer Brothers suit. You got the frog suit, the P-wing.
The Hammer Brothers one being the hardest one to obtain.
Yeah.
But that's because it's arguably one of the more
better
ones. Because
would you count the boot as a power-up?
In
the original Mario Brothers 3, you only use it in one level.
Yeah.
It's debatable.
But it's also really fun.
It was funny because it's one of the more, I guess, emotional ties with me, because I actually used to play this game a lot with my mom, and I know she loved using the boot power. She made it a point to get it. And I just really enjoy it. And it's actually, I think, the very first Mario Brothers game I've ever beaten. I don't know if you guys would believe me, but to this day, I still haven't even beaten the first one.
I believe it, honestly.
The first one, I haven't beaten
the first one is actually pretty hard around the end of the game.
My strongest memory for Mario Brothers 3 is getting stuck at the freaking water level because I never had a frog suit, and I would get through the desert and I would lose all of my, and I'm playing on the original NES, so there is no saves and continues. And it's running out of lives at the water level without a frog suit. Just no.
I'm sorry.
See, my mom hated the water level because she really liked the giant island level because she thought all the giant enemies looked, for some reason, to her, they seemed more adorable and cute. But in order to get
small
past
island or whatever it's called.
Yeah, but every single time when we have to get to the water level, she's like, "Oh, I have to get this to get to the cuteness." That was always.
You were also talking about how it brought like power ups like up a notch, and it did that. It did that because it when it gave us the hub world, when it's hub world like the world map where you can select what level to go to. It also let you bank items.
Yes.
So
I think you can only keep up to like 2 pages, or can you keep like a lot?
I
know in the advanced one they had like 4 or 5 pages.
With
of
the
things.
advanced one, you could hoard a lot, but at the same time, it was also really hard to get items because you had to win them. And if you whiffed any of those games and you ended up with power stars, you're just like, oh boy, 30 seconds at the beginning of the level, I'm invulnerable. This is
Even
great.
less than that. But...
Not only that, but like I know that for some of them, they're handed out to you, but very sparingly. Like for example, if Peach likes you enough that day, she'll give you a P-wing.
Yeah, you get the P-wing from Peach's letters. But I mean, like the games from Toad's houses or the wandering cards. Yeah, the field bosses would give you stuff, and you'd bank those, and so you get like a bunch of mushrooms, or if you were lucky, you got a bunch of the leaves, which as a kid I swore they were feathers because the sprite.
I agree they were feathers.
Well, Super Mario World doesn't help that.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. But in the bank, when they're banked in the tray, they look like leaves. But when you're in game, they look like feathers. And I was just like, this feather.
Now, be completely honest with me. When you mentioned the hub world mini bosses, do you cringe every time you saw a hammerhead bro on the map?
See, I cringed because the version I hated most about the Hammerhead Brothers one was the one where instead of like the normal formation where it's like 2 rows and there's 2 hammer brothers in each one, sometimes they'll just have the single block here with the one hammer brother right here, and you never knew you would never know if it's the one that throws the boomerang or the one that throws the hammer.
Ooh, the boomerang one was the worst because if you didn't get in there and jump on him early enough, there was just a storm of boomerangs and you just couldn't get past without like a mushroom
like,
power
you
up or
have
something.
to get the preemptive on
Oh yeah.
him. And like that was hard.
It's like the moment you see him, you better hit him.
Well, that's why I secretly like the music box. Because the music box says no.
That was another really hard one to get. Like, there's just so many hard ones to get, and when you got them, it was just so... Yes!
Did you know there was an anchor item?
No.
I did not know
that.
The anchor item basically makes it so the ships don't move if you lose at all in them.
Oh,
I never knew. I
always just brute forced it. Like, if I don't win this in a single try, I'm ruined. Because you would always go to the one part of the map that you didn't have to unlock, but now he's there and you gotta go play a level. And...
Yeah, like there's.
It was always the hardest levels that he would stay behind.
Yeah, like after like that time, and then when I started looking up stuff for the game, there's a lot of it that I strangely didn't know about, and I'm like, why didn't I see this when I first?
The worst is when you're playing with 2 players, and the one player is way better than you, and he unlocks all of the hard levels, and then dies on the boss, and you're stranded in like the middle of the map with all of the hard levels still locked, and you're just like, I cannot go anywhere.
Yeah, at that point, that's just flexing.
Well, it was flexing until he died.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, I could talk all day about Mario 3, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. But moving on this is gonna be a weird pick, I know, but I can't help but how I feel. It is also a game from the Mario and Luigi series. However, my pick is Partners in Time.
I hate it. No, just
interesting.
See, the thing with that opinion is that I know that a lot of people actually don't like that game. Because...
We see here he's picking games specifically that people don't like.
See, I've never played that
Sunshine,
one, so I can't
Partners
say
in
anything.
Time. No.
I like it because I do like the battle mechanics where you're not only utilizing Mario and Luigi himself, but you're also utilizing their baby forms as well, since, going back in time. Mario gets Baby Mario, Luigi gets... And you have to save Peach and Baby Peach, as well as the entire... And that's another thing I like about it, is the story. the whole thing is stopping. Obviously, it's the stereotypical, oh, we gotta stop bad guy because bad guy's doing bad things.
Mm-hmm.
However, this time,
it is an
different.
RPG.
Yes. This time it's different. Yes, the bad guy has to kidnap Peach because she has something. The bad guy wants to kidnap Peach because Peach went back in time and sealed away the leader of this evil alien race whose point is to come to Mushroom Kingdom and literally lay waste to its resources.
Holy crap.
They just don't want to get rid of the kingdom. They want to get rid of everyone in this game.
That's surprisingly dark.
And it's to the point where they utilize different I guess you can say their own gadgets and stuff, to the point where even in the beginning, in the beginning area that you start off as with Mario Luigi, you go to a Toad village, you find out most of them are missing, and that's when you find out they're being implanted by this weird alien tree that's taking their life energy away, and it's using that energy to power up this other Wriggle, which they transform from a regular Super Mario World one to their specific variation of it.
I actually want to play that now.
It's like I said, I love it. I love it not just because it's battle mechanics, because its story is the darkest, probably one of the darker Mario stories.
Dang, do you have the game still?
I still own the game, yes.
Yeah, I'm going to borrow that.
I have that physical.
I'm going to have to borrow that from you.
It's not as dark as Bowser turning toads into blocks. I'm sorry. The story to the first Mario game is not good. The evil King Koopa has kidnapped the princess and imprisoned toadstools in blocks.
So does that mean when you break them, you're killing the toad?
No. Not the regular blocks, but the question mark blocks have toads in them. And so the lore in the original game was that when you hit a question mark block, you free the toad, and he gives you a power-up as a prize for freeing him.
Oh, okay.
So it's not morbid like you're killing toads when you break blocks, but it's still kind of weird that you're
But you don't actually see them?
No, they just...
they're just here you go.
It was a really weird way to try to tie the whole game together.
They're okay.
So in a sense,
that's not true to the game's lore anymore, but that's how the original game was framed in the instruction manual. You couldn't even get that from the game's context.
So by that logic right there, that makes the Toads the fastest existing people in the world.
Just thank you.
Even faster than the people of Station Square from Sonic Adventure.
Those guys are pretty fast.
Yeah. Yes.
Jesus. But as far as the last game goes, I'm gonna have to go with one that you picked earlier.
Super Mario Sunshine.
No, I already said
Put that on the list twice.
I like it so much I put it twice. I'm gonna go with Super Mario World on this one because I treat Super Mario World the same way I treat Super Mario Sunshine. I feel like World takes the old NES formula the same way Sunshine takes the 64 formula, and just one makes the controls better.
Just improved it.
Immensely. And the levels, as you said, are varied. They don't all feel the same. Not to mention they put in a couple of levels in there that kind of breaks away from that, which is also cool. I like the secret exit mechanic as well as the switch ones because the switch palaces basically gave old levels some replayability, because then you can visit areas that you normally couldn't visit the first time playing through. Which, not to mention, I know a lot of speedrunners like to abuse the 1-star road where you can actually get to the final level as soon as entering the second world. I discovered that. It's really funny. And I also like it because I really like playing Super Mario World hacks. It's one of my favorite things to do because I feel like in a way that kind of injects more hours I play into the game. To this day, my favorite one is still Brutal Mario. Because now mind you, yes, it sounds pretty ridiculous, I know. But I like that one because it does things in the game that I didn't even think were possible to begin with. It implements gameplay elements that I didn't think were possible in a Mario game, basically.
Interesting.
They have one level that I think is only in the demo version, where you kind of play a Mega Man-esque level into it, whereas in like it has the Wily Castle. It does the whole Wily Castle sequence, where like you know how like in I don't know if it's in 7 or 8, where when you enter the Wily Castle, they show like the 3 rows of Wily doors and they open up depending on which level.
That
you're
was
going
in
to.
base.
Okay, yeah, that one. They implemented that into the Super Mario World ROM itself, and you're actually playing through like what looks like a Mega Man world, because it has like the Mega Man and base graphics, enemies as well, and they also do the same actions. I'll bet they use Mario graphics to replace the actual thing. And I just think it's just a very creative ROM that like pushes Mario World to the absolute limit.
I might have to check that out too.
It's hard, I will say that. Brutal's not on it just because.
yeah.
It does that fan game like ROM hack thing where it's like, oh, this game is hard.
Actually, it starts off pretty easy. It has a scaling.
It's not like that. What was it? The Legend of Zelda.
Parallel Worlds.
Yeah, the one that's just like you don't get your sword for the first 2 hours of the game.
It doesn't be a jerk to you at the beginning. It actually kind of starts off easy and goes harder. Well, yeah, that's all mine.
I'm gonna piggyback off of my what you guys said. I really love Sunshine because, as said, it improved Mario 64's controls. And I also love
I'm glad that we've managed to assemble all 4 Super Mario Sunshine fans in one room.
Heck yeah!
and I also ironically love the story. I think the story kind of sucks, honestly, but I love it because it sucks.
I mean, it's a Mario game,
and this is probably the worst of Peach we've had to deal with ever.
Oh yeah,
because I mean the fact that she sees Shadow Mario running for her and she doesn't do anything about it.
I remember that scene.
Waits.
I mean, there's also that like the story also has that Sonic Adventure 2 thing where very obviously not our main character is being mistaken for the like
God.
Mario, how could you, who has just arrived in a plane right now, been terrorizing the town this entire time? We're going to jail you for all of this graffiti that you've put up, even though you've just arrived and we arrested you off the plane.
See,
Faker!
See, in Sonic Adventure 2's case, I can understand where they're coming from because
they're completely. Their hair is different.
Hold on.
Color is different.
Hear me out. When they did see Sonic for the first time, well, Sonic, and I'm saying with
Shadow.
quotations for the first time, it was actually in darkness. So because they're both like a shade of like a darker color, it's actually
Sonic
hard
Adventure
to tell.
2 Sonic is super bright blue though.
So,
like it's not even like Sonic 06 or Sonic Unleashed where he's like a darker tone. No, he's like bright blue.
But
that
then
boy glows in the dark.
but then you also have the Mario Sunshine perspective where it's like it's perpetually daytime over there. How can you mistake a metal-looking Mario for a Mario that's wearing
Faker, you're the only fake plumber around here.
What you were doing, Andy.
And then
Besides-
the whole little subplot where, the whole little bit where Peach actually had to question if Bowser Jr. was her kid or not. Mind you, Bowser did clarify that Peach is not Bowser Jr.'s mother, but the fact that Peach actually had to think about that,
Well,
she didn't deny it. She was just like, "Oh, your mama?"
it had me thinking.
I mean, it's less of her being not denial, and it's more like that scene is just her being like, "Mama, that doesn't make
It's
any
like,
sense."
did her and Bowser hook up or something? What's going on?
That's a pretty great scene though at the very end after they're defeated, and Bowser's just like, Peach isn't really your mom. And he's like, yeah, I know.
That was a lovely scene.
It was a really good scene just because you got that like. I don't know. I don't want to say humanizing Bowser, but like giving him that little moment where you just like see him and his son interacting. You're just like, this guy's just a dad.
No, you want to humanize Bowser? There was that little thing. Was it like
Peachette?
on the direct or something? Where Bowser Jr.'s playing something, and then Bowser covered his eyes.
The parental the parental controls video for the Switch, where it's
Bowser
just like
covers Bowser Jr.'s
that
eyes.
entire thing is just like Bowser using the parental locks on the Switch with Bowser Jr. It's so good.
That's actually the most dad Bowser I've seen since Sunshine. Now that I think about it.
It's good stuff.
But hold on.
Sneeze!
Bless you, Andy.
But besides that, I also have to pick Super Mario 3 just because it has arguably the best power-ups out of all the Mario games, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the Hammer Brothers suit, which I'm also going to put Super Mario World on that list, but I am disappointed it didn't have that much in terms of power-ups.
Yeah.
Like, it has other great merits that I'm going to list in a little bit. But Super Mario Bros. 3 was also my very first game I recall playing.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the one I spent the most time with. And it was probably the first game I ever used a strategy guide to get all the secrets on. Because my mom ordered the official Nintendo strategy guide for that, which I'm mad because I don't have that anymore. But it helped me memorize so much about this game and its secrets, which was really cool. And not to mention the artwork in there was really awesome as well.
Oh, old strategy guides.
Real quick, Andy.
I used to have the strategy guide for Mario.
Did you also have that issue with I don't know if it was the Super Nintendo All Stars version or the Game Boy Advance port of it? Which one of those versions made Mario look more Mexican than Italian?
What?
Yeah, no. I think in one of the reports,
I want to
obviously
say
not the original, it makes Mario look more
It's El Mario.
I want to say the one that he looks more like us. Than,
wait, I remember that now.
Yeah.
It's coming back to me.
I want to say it might have been Advance, just because Advance also had a Mario All Stars. That's for all the Advance games. They have the Mario All Stars skin, remastering to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So want to say both.
Okay.
But yeah, Mario 3 is always one of my favorites, and I am set on owning every possible version of the game, including the Japanese one, which is actually a little bit more challenging than the original one. I have yet to buy the one on the Wii U Virtual Console because that has all the e-reader stages.
Yeah.
Because e-reader over here, outside of Japan.
In Japan too.
Well, it was more successful.
It was more successful in Japan, but they were
slightly.
like, "Wait a minute, why are we collecting these stupid cards?"
And then they did it for Animal Crossing, and
everybody loved it.
But I love Super Mario World because I think out of the 2D Marios, it's the most open-ended.
I think
because
out of all the 2D ones, I think it's the most polished. Like Super Mario 3 has more overall power-ups, but Super Mario World just feels like it's finished. It's complete. it's really polished, and the controls and everything.
As I said, you could actually get to the last castle without even really trying. But it has one of the most replayability to it. Super Mario 3 and Super Mario World, in my opinion, has the best replayability out of the Mario titles by far. And, just the fact that there's so many levels to introduce. And in both of them, none of them feel too similar. They all have their unique charm to it. And, the thing I like about the Game Boy Advance versions was I got to play as Luigi from the start.
Yeah.
Which, honest to goodness, I was always that kid that put in two controllers. I would always force my mom or my dad to be Mario.
So that you
and I
can
get
be
to
Luigi.
play the game as Luigi and beat the game as Luigi.
Quick question.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't it in the advanced version they gave Luigi his flutter jump?
I think so,
Because in the Super NES one, I don't think he had it in that
I think
one.
it's the Game Boy Advance ones they
actually
implemented that?
In the Super Nintendo version, Luigi was just a palette swap.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They were the
Yeah,
same in the SNES version. Did he have a flutter? I don't know if he definitely did in Super Mario in
the advanced version. He definitely had a flutter jump.
I know he had the flutter jump in the advanced version of Super Mario 2.
He has it in the advanced version of Super Mario World also.
I don't remember that.
I'll have to play that later.
I remember being able to swap between them, and I only did that because I would. They had separate power-up slots, so you would go to World 2-1, and you would get capes for Mario, and you would get a cape in the item slot, and then you would exit the world and swap to Luigi and do it again.
So he was just a second item slot.
Oh
for
yeah,
you. That's funny. That's funny.
And let's see, what else would I pick? It's probably cheating, but I really like Mario Maker. It's
fair.
Yeah,
because I like the fact of people making their own unique stages, for better for worse.
Yeah, you have the
Just the creativity that goes along with it, and it's one of the games I really would like a deluxe version for the Switch.
Unlike another game
That's for later. And with that, I also really like 3D World. It's like it's not the best, 3D Mario game, but it has like a really nice charm to it, and it's one of the more relaxing Mario games I ever played.
Yeah, I actually did like 3D World also.
That's something I really would like the Switch to have a deluxe version of.
Yes.
Because, and not to mention, it also made Rosalina playable, which was surprising for me the first time I played it.
Didn't she have like the spin jump from Galaxy also?
Which unfortunately is bad if you get any power-up as her, because she doesn't include it. Because you can only use a spin jump if she's regular or small Rosalina. But when you get when you get any power-up, she loses it.
Oh, that sucks.
It does, but
that's because I never unlocked her yet.
I did. I'm a masochist.
Dang. At least you're honest.
But I really would like that to have a deluxe version as well.
Okay.
It's like, to me, those are the two, the Wii U Mario games I think of off the spot.
You know what's funny? I actually have not beaten that one. I've beat the 3DS version. I have not beat the Wii U version.
I haven't fully completed it, but did beat most of it.
Fair point.
And besides that, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I really like the first Paper Mario on N64 as well, just because it was the very first Mario RPG I ever played.
Fair point.
Like, legit. Like, I was aware about Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, but at the time, I didn't have a Super Nintendo at my, in my house. So I had the Nintendo 64, and my mom, who thankfully got a lot of great games from Blockbuster, because they always would liquidate games. It's actually how I got Majora's Mask.
Oh, okay.
Which was really fun.
I didn't play Super Mario RPG on the SNES either, because I never had a Super Nintendo. I actually didn't have a 64 either, but I played Paper Mario on the Wii when they first released the Wii Virtual, or I guess it wasn't even called the Virtual Console back then. It was called just the Wii Shop.
Yeah, the Wii Shop.
But you could buy old games, and when they released the old games, I totally bought Paper Mario, because I was like, I don't know what this is, but I like Mario, and I am a fan of paper, I guess. And I mean, it definitely did. My expectations were a fun platformer that was that had a paper aesthetic to it, and I got a fun RPG with a paper aesthetic to it. So my expectations were in a completely different category.
And while I'm not a big fan of the series, I definitely like the first couple of Mario Party games. It's like, I'll explain why I'm not a big fan of the Mario Party series a little bit later, but I did really appreciate the first couple of games.
I like Mario Party. I think Mario Party... I mean, like, it's a party game, so it's not one of those things that's like, gotta go to that Mario Party grind! But, like, I don't know, getting some friends together and just, like, playing Mario Party
And not killing each other.
And getting that like turn 1 hidden block star.
I actually am guilty of that.
I did that. I did that before. I actually. It was not the last time I played Mario Party, because the last time I played Mario Party was at for like too many games one night we played that, but the time before that, which had been like years, I played Mario Party. We like started a game, got everything ready. I picked Daisy, and I was like, all right, Daisy's my lucky character. Let's go. And turn 1, hidden block. Got a star.
Yep.
I put my controller down and I left. I was
Yep.
like, all right, moral victory. Goodbye, everybody.
My moral victory was when people got salty over that.
Yeah, I gotta take those small victories while you can.
Yeah, I guess those are my picks for best Marios.
I'm glad that we all I mean, there's not a lot of Mario games. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of Mario games with a lot of different opinions on them. I mean, I guess there's technically like me and Andy put Paper Mario the original. You put Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I'm glad you Josh and Andy said Mario 3, because that's one that I was like runner up. Almost wanted to put it on the list. Super Mario World won out, but
distracted by phone.
But I mean, like I said, there's not a whole lot of variety for Mario Party games, or not Mario Party, Mario games in general. So our lists kind of looked really similar to that. I'm sure that if when we end up talking about like Sonic games, there's going to be a lot more disagreements.
Yes. We can all agree that forces suck, though.
I love Forces. No, I actually have not played Forces.
I'll leave that to your own discretion.
But like, and we all agree, like Super Mario Sunshine. We have the only 4 Super Mario Sunshine fans, and we are here on this podcast.
Yeah, that was. I was not expecting that actually.
But I'm glad that we all agreed on that. Our list's looking very, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you guys aren't allowed to look at my sheet when we are getting ready. Guys, do your own homework.
So, you tried the best. Now try the rest.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about. I don't have a full list of 5
I
for
don't
these.
either.
Not gonna lie, I'm still thinking about it.
if we put the caveat on games that we've actually played, and instead of saying the worst games, because you can like easily argue, like, you know, Mario teaches typing, Hotel Mario, like those games are.
I've actually played that. I actually don't think it's that bad.
Mario teaches typing or Hotel Mario?
Hotel Mario. I've actually tried it out at last year's Too Many Games. It's okay.
I'm sure that
it's like, I don't think it's the worst one.
I think most of the hate that it gets is from the animations, which are really fun to watch.
Which arguably I think is the same problem with the CDI Zelda games. I don't think
the CDI Zelda games have a lot more issues too than just poor animations. Though.
It's like, I think they're just really average games at best.
I think they're just a notch below average. But like
Mario that's
games,
another discussion.
Yeah, that's different. That's for a different day. But Mario games that you don't really like. We're not gonna say worst Mario games. We're not gonna say hate. I don't have a full list because my instinct was to say Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, which is just a Dance Dance Revolution game.
Again, I didn't even know that existed.
I always knew it exists. I just never bothered to buy it.
My cousins owned it, and that's the only reason I know it exists. I guess I've technically played it as in I started it and realized it was Mario Mix and took it out so I could play the superior Shadow the Hedgehog. Which was fun if you were playing multiplayer. But again, discussion for a different day. That's when we talk about our favorite Sonic games, which for me is just Shadow the Hedgehog 5 times. But yeah, Mario games that you didn't really like. I actually am going to disagree with Andy here, and I'm going to put Super Mario 3D World on that list. Because, I mean, like, I understand it's a chill game, but the perspective ruins me.
You're talking about where the camera angle is, basically?
Yeah, because
I think that's the only issue.
It's a 2D platformer. Like, it's a traditional Mario 2D platformer set on a 3D plane.
Right.
That ruins me. because you've got jumps that have to do with going forward and backward, and when you're on the far side of the screen, distance is messed up because you're farther away from the camera. So I want my 2D platformers 2D and my 3D platformers 3D.
I can understand
I
that.
don't like that stationary camera on the 3D plane. That ruined me. I'm going to put Mario Odyssey on this list of Mario games that I don't like. Not because I hate it or I think it's the worst Mario game. I definitely think that it's overhyped, and I feel like for the other games that are in that vein, I'm not going to put Mario Galaxy in that for reasons that I've already talked about. I think that it's a different kind of platformer from the other ones. But Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, when you get a Shine Sprite or a star, that is an achievement, right? You finished that level, you reached that goal, and then you're kicked out of the level, and you go to re-enter, and you get to pick a new goal. Or, like, I don't know, Mario 64, you go to Bob on Battlefield, you step on the Chain Chomp, and you get his star, like that. I guess that's not really a goal, that's just like a free star, that's like 3 seconds in the level.
A free star, yeah.
But still, like, that feels like an achievement, like you're doing something, and there's like 100 some odd stars, there's 160...
In Sunshine?
Yeah, in Sunshine there's
120.
like 120?
Yeah.
Including blue coins.
120 Shine Sprites. And then in Mario Odyssey, you have 650 Power Moons?
I don't know. I haven't reached that
far. There's points where you get bundles of Power Moons, right? You get 3 Power Moons at once. And I feel like that it felt like another collectible, like, coins, where you're not... Like, I go to the level, and I reach my goal, and I get the Power Moon. But my goal for Power Moon is sitting on a bench with some dude.
Yeah.
Or jumping on a jump rope 100 times.
I will admit it. There were a number of times where I felt like the Power Moons were just handed to you.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of things that cheapen the Power Moons. And,
yes.
And especially when there's over 600 of them, you're collecting Power Moons like you're collecting Pokemon.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I didn't really like that, and I thought some of the levels were fun to interact with.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite level in the whole game was New Donk City because it was such a unique take on a Mario game, being able to do all of your fun 3D platformer things and being able to take advantage of Cappy's powers in that urban setting, and being able to interact with Pauline and I thought that level was perfect. I mean,
Sonic did it first.
I love Sonic Adventure 2. Like, come on. but Sonic's obviously a different beast entirely. Because you're not platforming in in the cities. You're escaping.
Sonic.
But Sonic. No, and I feel like New Donk City was a really, really good level just because exploring it was so much fun, and I didn't feel that way about any of the other levels. I was just really let down because I wanted Mario 64, and I got 6 Mario 64s like duct taped together. And
I mean, dang.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that. While it's not under least favorites, I do love the game, but I feel like my problem with Odyssey is there's too much.
To
it. Like literally too much to do in the game.
And I think the controls are great. I'm wearing a Hat in Time shirt, and Hat in Time takes a lot of inspiration from the same places that Mario Odyssey does. Mario 64, Mario's like Sunshine. It's more on the Banjo-Kazooie collectathon kind of leg of things, but they both have their heart in the same place of being 3D platformers that are fun to jump around and explore. And I don't hate the game. It's not If we have a Zelda episode, I will give you guys my entire rant on why I hate Breath of the Wild. But like,
I'll be with you. I'll be right there with you.
Odyssey is it's a passable game. It's if somebody handed me a Switch and told me, here, play Mario Odyssey, I'd be like, all right, cool. Like I'm not gonna like, I don't despise the game, but it was definitely
I feel
disappointing to me.
I can understand it.
Yeah, I basically powered through the game so I could get to New Donk City. I played the hell out of New Donk City, and then after I got past that, I was like, oh yeah, I don't really like this. I just kind of like put it down.
But what are the other ones that you say was like kind of lackluster for you, if you know any off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any others that I don't like that I've played. I know that I haven't played the Paper Mario Sticker Star and Paper Mario, like all the Paper Mario games after Sticker Star, I have not played, but I know that I do not like them on principle, because the battle system's completely different from Paper Mario and not in a good way. I think the only Paper Mario game after Sticker Star that is passable is Paper Jam. But that's just because you get the one scene where Peach is like, "How are we supposed to escape from these bars?" And Paper Peach just walks through like, "Bye."
I really did. I really did like Paper Jam.
Paper Jam had that really cool kind of dichotomy between the regular Mario, like Mario and Luigi, and Paper Mario. Like it's so much fun to watch them play together.
And how both Bowsers got into a fight while the juniors are like best buds.
Yeah, Bowser and Paper Bowser like being complete idiots together. I mean, this is gonna be. I guess this section is a little bit more freeform discussion because I don't have a full list of 5 Mario games that I have played and hate or dislike, but
well,
I'm sure you all have been disappointed by Mario games before.
I have a few. So one that I can list right off the bat, and I cringe to.
Is it Sticker Star?
Yes. Yes. When you mentioned Sticker Star,
I watched your face drop. I was like, oh no.
It's like, oh no, I was right.
I felt my soul being ripped out of me, just like how I felt when I was playing through the game. When Sticker Star first came out, I was extra excited.
Jamming, because it's Paper Mario.
On the 3DS, no less.
So
I can now play it on the go and experience all the stuff that I experienced in like the previous Paper Marios beforehand. Even the one that came out on the Wii wasn't all that bad.
That was more of a platformer than it was an RPG.
Yes.
Which I think is kind of where the Sticker Star syndrome starts.
It did.
Because it's like, oh, people like Paper Mario, and Super Paper Mario is a platformer, so let's just ruin Paper Mario.
Dude, oh my god, there were so many things. I'm not gonna spend the whole thing on it, obviously, but I'll just list the ones that bothered me the most. First of all, battles are absolutely pointless because you don't get any experience at all.
You get stickers, right?
You just get stickers, and that sticker is pretty much your ammunition. If you don't have any stickers for attacks, then you're absolutely worthless. And you can also find them on the field as well. So again, battles are practically pointless in the game, and it's like
except for a waste of stickers, which you need for battles.
It's basically like fighting a bunch of Pidgeys, and that's all you face throughout the entirety of Pokemon. That's how it felt. The story wasn't really all that memorable, and this was before they went into absolute Toad syndrome with what's it called? The paint version of Sticker Mario?
Color Splash.
Color Splash, yeah, where it's toads everywhere.
I love the aesthetic of Color Splash.
Yes.
And I saw the one scene in Color Splash where the world itself is being curled over because it's all on cardboard and it's being like pushed and Mario's like running away from it. Like, that's so cool, except it sucks.
Color Splash it had so much potential.
It did the Paper Mario, it did Sticker Star.
I want to put that on the same level as Sticker Star, but the only reason why I'm a little lenient on Color Splash is because
looks amazing.
Yeah, I just love the aesthetics. But dang, where are my unique characters? Where's my actual RPG experience that I had in previous Paper Mario games? When you establish something in your previous titles, you don't want to deviate too much from the core of that gameplay. Otherwise, you're just going to upset the people that fell in love with the series.
You start alienating the audience.
That's exactly what happened when I played Sticker Star and Color Splash, in all honesty.
Super Mario Party. I will get the title eventually. Super Mario Party is a return to old Mario Party style.
And I love that.
So there's hope for Nintendo.
I actually did enjoy Super
Mario Party.
Yes, Super Mario
Party.
Party.
We're talking about so many different kinds of Marios. What is it?
I swear the naming conventions are just as bad as Nintendo naming their systems. Such as, new 3DS.
It's the new 2DS XL.
God. Get better with that, please.
Okay, at least it's not I know Andy's gonna jump on this. At least it's not new Super Mario Brothers Wii U Deluxe on the Switch.
Save it, Andy. When we get to you, you'll get the whole stage.
Go ahead, talk about.
Just cook on that for a minute.
I mean, here, how about this? To be fair, I was gonna say the same thing, but I'm just gonna dedicate my turn
go ahead,
to
Danny.
you.
But what was it? After the Sticker Star disappointment. Now, this isn't a game that I despise. It's pretty much on the same level with you on Odyssey, but I wasn't really into Mario and Luigi Dream Team. I kind of felt that it was a Mario and Luigi title that was just there. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Luigi interactions are funny, and it still has all the quirky elements you expect from Mario Party, but it didn't really...
Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
Not Mario Party.
Oh my god. But bottom line, I just didn't feel like it stood out enough for me as a standalone title. I still want to experience Partners in Time after you hype it up when you talk about its story, but...
Like I said, the story is definitely one of the highlights of the game, in my opinion.
But after playing games like the first Mario and Luigi, Mario Bowser's Inside Story, and Paper Jam, Mario and Luigi's Dream Team just didn't... It didn't do anything to stand out. But after that one, it's... And again, Andy... You can cook on this one when I mention this. When it comes to the new Super Mario Bros.
The first one on the DS is really fun.
The first one's really good.
If not a tad generic, but still pretty fun.
A
good DS title.
I was actually referring to the Wii version.
Okay.
The very first one that came out on the Wii, phenomenal game.
It was good because it introduced 4-player.
All the other ones after that, trash. Like... This is what I think about when it came to the other new Super Mario games after the Wii one specifically. It's like, okay, let's take
that one was just New Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Yeah. What was it? Let's take all the really cool things we mentioned in Super Mario World and also the first new Super Mario Bros. On the Wii and just take them all out. Make them all generic levels that feel like each other and... Throw in a new power-up that's just a copy of another power-up but does something different.
Well, the first new Super Mario Brothers game was on the DS.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which means it's been probably over 10 years at this point since the first new Super Mario Brothers game. Are they still new?
According to Nintendo.
According to New Super Mario Brothers U for Deluxe on the Switch, it is, yeah.
Apparently.
We've only been making this for 10 years.
But the point I'm trying to make here is that when you play one, be it the DS version or the Wii version, you pretty much played them all. You don't have to play the other ones because they just feel exactly the same. It's like playing a new, I don't know, Madden title where it just looks prettier than the others and functions better in some cases. I don't know. I'm just making an example here. But if there's any others that I gotta mention... Okay. I know we all agree that this is technically not a Mario game because it features
Mario
Luigi.
is missing.
Yeah. The only reason why I still consider it a Mario game to me personally is because it still plays like a regular Mario title. It's just Luigi. It's not like Luigi's Mansion where he has a whole gimmick to himself. He runs like Mario. He feels
Luigi's
like
Mansion,
Mario.
though, is amazing.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
Fantastic.
That's not on this list.
Love that game.
That is not on this list. But here's why I have to put Mario is Missing here. You already know what Mario is Missing is all about. It's just a large, what's the word I'm looking for? Trivia game. The whole thing is based around frickin' world trivia. But try experiencing that as a kid. Go in the Blockbuster.
I would try as I might to be a kid, but I'm not sure it'll.
Just imagine going to Blockbuster and renting that title when you could have rented. I don't know. Yes, yes. You could
go back in time.
you could have rented Mega Man X2. You could have rented Link to the Past, Super Metroid, Mega Man Soccer. You could have rented Mega Man Soccer.
Mega Man Soccer. Is not that bad.
It's not, no. I actually did I have a soft spot for soccer.
It's an entirely passable soccer game featuring Mega Man.
But what did I rent that day? I decided, hey, Mom, give me Mario is Missing. I really want to play this.
Did you feel the same way? Did you have flashbacks when you first picked up a copy of Luigi's Mansion and on the back it said Mario is missing in a ghostly font? Did you just like cry a little bit? Were you like, I don't want this game anymore?
I did get a little scared. I'm not gonna lie, I did get a little scared.
And then the game started.
But when the game started and I saw what it was like, I'm like, okay, this is actually better. My PTSD is gone. But yes, I was gravely upset with that. You couldn't kill any of the troopers that was running around, and the whole point of the game...
Actually, you could.
Not till later, though. You had to, like, get a couple of items or like, clear some of the questions. Well, that's the problem with that
game and also Mario's Time Machine, which was done by the same company.
Ugh.
Because
just taking the Super Mario World engine and making it bad.
This is the problem. Yes! This is the problem with both of those games, is that, unlike the other educational Mario games, they don't have any, indication that they're, educational in the title.
Yeah.
It's like Mario's Time Machine. Mario traveling through time. That's going to sound awesome. And, Mario's missing, you get to play as Luigi this time. And you see Bowser, grabbing
the box
Mario.
art was so misleading.
It's like, oh yeah, this is going to be like a
the box art for Mario is missing. Looks like it's going to be a good game.
I know!
Yeah, both of the things look like they're going to be good. It sound like they're going to be good from the names of it. But then when you played it, it's like, oh, these open-ended questions I have to answer. It's like, yeah, I get to travel through time, but now I'm like with George Washington and the Declaration of Independence.
I mean, they did that in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show too. Oh wait, no, that was
but
general.
It's less
fun. There was a toad in a powdered wig.
It's like,
I mean, that was fun though.
It's like that, but less fun. But it's not. But it's like you have to actually play through that, and it's not fun.
Like, bro, I'm sitting here playing this game, and I'm like, I'm playing this game so I can be able to enjoy a video game, not sit through school again.
Yeah, fair.
I was like Bart from from that one Simpsons episode when he's having fun playing this one game and it's teaching him things. And instead of him embracing that he's finally learning, he said, I'll teach you to teach me. And he just turns it off.
But yeah.
No, Andy, tell us all about New Super Mario Bros.
Here we go.
Yeah, I know he's been holding this for a while. Go right on ahead.
My problem with the New Super Mario Bros. First of all, that title.
It's a mouthful to say New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe for the Switch.
It's like, first of all, they should drop that moniker now and just call it Unoriginal Super Mario Brothers.
Yet another Mario.
I think I don't know if I need to say much about it. That's the problem I have with that series. It's just so uncreative at this point. Like the first two, the DS one, it was like the first DS game I ever picked up, and I enjoyed it.
It was a launch title.
Yeah, I loved the game. It was really fun. And then the the sequel on the Wii was actually pretty fun. It was hectic playing as 4 players. And then I was excited when the the Wii U version and the 3DS ones were coming out. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there was some on the 3DS. I totally forgot.
And it's like, oh yeah. Then once I finally played them, I'm just like, it's like, it feels like it's like, did they just really charge me the same price to play the same game again? It's like, yeah, the power-ups are different between the games, which I think are the only redeeming qualities about those games, in my opinion, right now. Except the first half of them. But they're just so really uninspired, and the fact that Nintendo's just, repackaging basically the same thing.
It's not even a new game this time. Like, with the Wii U version, it was at least a new game compared to the Wii version. There was new levels, new power-ups. This is just the Wii U version with the word Deluxe on the title and in a Switch cartridge.
It's going to be like Tropical Freeze, where they barely add anything different.
At least Tropical Freeze, they literally said, this is the same game except Funky Kong's in it.
And it costs more money.
And it costs more money. Well, that was because the original one got a Nintendo Selects re-release. Mm-hmm. And Selects prices are always $20. So they kind of walked themselves into a corner with that.
But, I think what I just really don't like about the new Super Mario Brothers series, it's just some of the laziest titles ever. It's like, yeah, they keep making one for a new console, but all it is just prettier graphics.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. There's no real creativity going on. I mean, for the love of God, New Super Mario Brothers 2 is one of the most easiest games out there. And I'm not saying that as a good thing. I'm saying the fact that they force feed you coins.
Holy Christ, yes they do.
It's like,
No.
oh yeah, you're never gonna game over in this game.
Hey guys, new challenge for New Super Mario Brothers 2.
Don't collect
any coin and beat the game.
You know what? I'm actually gonna do that.
Like,
Starts the game. Got the coin. Shoot.
it's like
Yes, if you get 1 coin, you have to start
it's
over.
like trying to go out and when
get
it's
the-
pouring rain and
the
dodge rain,
AG
basically.
AGDQ reset button, so you can just like soft reset the console, so you can just be like, got a coin. Got a coin.
It's just, it's just like you'll never. There's no challenge.
It really
I don't
isn't.
like that. It's like, oh, here's a fire flower that gives you even more coins. Why not?
There's a reason why I slept on that title. Like, I played a little bit of it and instantly knew that it was bad.
I haven't bought a new Super Mario Bros. Game since the Wii version.
Good job.
Yeah.
The only reason I have the Wii U one because it was packaged also with the Luigi version, and it also came with my Wii U.
My
Which
Wii U
I think the
came
only
with
thing-
Wind Waker.
Which I will say, the only thing I like about the new Luigi one is just the fact that they gave Luigi his old controls. It actually makes the game somewhat challenging.
Oh, like
Unfortunately,
having, like,
if you
no
take
traction?
away, there's an option to take that away, and then the game just plain sucks.
What's the point?
Because the game is clearly built around that mechanic of his. But take that away, it's like, oh, yeah, you're not going to have a fun time at all. And it just angered me that the Switch is going to get another one of this. It's like, no, where's 3D World? Where's Mario Maker? Games I actually had fun with.
Or,
Mario
you know,
Maker Deluxe would be amazing.
Remake 64 Sunshine. I would gladly
Like,
love that on my
just
Switch.
don't give us new
we need-
Super Mario.
I need Sunshine 2. I need a sequel. I need
Yeah.
Flood back. Or better yet, walk back your decision. Give us the Virtual Console and just let me have a GameCube game on my Switch,
Or
please.
Galaxy.
That's
I will
another
throw
discussion.
so much money at the Switch if I could get Sunshine and Luigi's Mansion, just good GameCube games,
Yes.
Virtual Consoles onto my Switch. I would just mail my credit card to Nintendo.
But no,
I would do it too.
but no, there's some NES games you probably never wanted to play, like Ice Climber.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah. Ice Climber. I was really excited for that announcement.
I'm
No one's
glad.
favorite NES game.
After they removed the Ice Climbers from Smash, now we can play the Ice Climbers in their original 8-bit glory.
But not their
is-
wobbling glory.
And it sucks.
Thank God.
But yeah, the new Super Mario Brothers series is just like if
not
it was
new.
just the first two, it's
It'll be
like
good.
the best way I can describe it is like, okay, let's take elements from the third in Super Mario World, which is actually 4 in Japan. They actually have the moniker of 4 for it,
Okay.
but it's like let's just do that and not innovate anything else around it. Is my problems with that series.
See, piggybacking off that,
Mhm.
my other main issue besides obviously, it even with its updated looks, I still think it looks pretty fucking boring. I'm sorry to say.
Well, yeah.
Like,
It's looked boring since the Wii U came out.
It actually
yeah,
did.
it's just
yes.
like I look at it and it's just like
2013. Yeah, it's been boring for 5 years.
basically.
The only time I legit had fun with that game was when we all did a playthrough of it. And I still gotta upload the compilation of like the funniest moments in that game.
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
That was the only time I had fun with that title, but any other time I
I
played
think,
it,
I think we
No.
realized how boring that game is.
Oh yeah, no, it
while
was
playing
terrible.
through it.
It was a terrible experience. I never want to experience it ever again.
Let's see.
But the main problem I had with it is that it did something that I never ever wanted it to happen to any Mario game at all, and that's that you somehow took the 2D aspects of World and 3. I'm not gonna say 1 to an extent 2, because 1 1, controls hasn't aged well. 2, made ones better. 3, perfected it. And World basically just like reworked it into close to a masterpiece. And yet when the new Super Mario Brothers games came out and I played it, how did you make the controls worse?
That's a very, very good question.
I can agree on that.
I played it and I'm like, the controls and the physics and everything was just bad. I did not like it at all because they also introduced the wall kicking mechanic that just does not feel well in a 2D format. It feels so janky.
The problem with the wall kick is that you have to like change the direction that the stick is pointing, but if you're too early, then you end up like just falling off the wall and not being close enough to kick. Or if you do it too late, you don't go far enough out because you're not pushing left anymore, and you just fall short of the wall you're trying to kick off of the second time.
Yep.
Exactly. I had so many deaths just involving that because it's just so janky, and they have never fixed it. I felt the same way from the DS version through the sequel, the Wii version. The
I
Wii U
do
version.
like the spin. When you hit the button, you just go whoop. And you
That's
just like
probably the
spin in
only
the
thing
air.
I
and
like.
just
I like that because it saved me a lot of times.
it's the same. It's the same reason that I like control. That I like the platforming in like Mario 64 or A Hat in Time or like Sunshine, where you can like extend your air time by doing little aerial tricks, and it gets you a little bit farther. The problem is that none of the new Super Mario games are built around using that. That's just kind of like an escape button, and which is why I don't love new Super Mario Brothers stages in Mario Maker, but when the stage uses that to its full extent, where you can only make this jump if you jump at full speed and also spin right in the middle of it just to get enough. Like the one super difficult like the 1% clear we were doing the other day.
Yeah.
That was super fun, if not incredibly infuriating.
Yeah, no, I gave up halfway through, by the way.
We got all the way to the end.
Oh, yeah, we did. Never mind. But, no, I just really thought... No, I originally thought the idea was good, because it's like, oh, you can save yourself a lot if you can wall jump. But it's just implemented so terribly.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, it works in the 3D Mario games, because in the 3D Mario games, when you run into not run into a wall, but when you jump at a wall, you cling to the wall and you wall slide. So that gives you enough time to orient yourself, hit the button, move your control stick exactly how you need to, and there's a nice rhythm that you can get into. And wall kicking it's
heck, even
not frame perfect, but if you're not getting it exactly right, then you're not going to make it all the way up.
Heck, even Super Jank 64's wall kicking wasn't that bad either.
That was its own jank. But I can sort of forgive it because it's the first time trying it.
Exactly.
All right, fine. I can let that go. Why does this version have it not so great?
Should be polished.
Especially the fifth time making the same game, right?
I don't even think it's like, how do I explain this? I don't expect it to be right the first time, but as you just said,
it should be polished.
This is the 5th title. Why does your wall jump still terrible? It's to the point where I never even use it, and I hate Mario Maker levels that use it, and I need to use it so much.
Yeah.
But
that's my absolute hatred to those versions of the game. The jumping mechanics, I hate it because when it comes to jumping, you have 2 forms of jumping. You jump, and you don't really go a long distance, and that's only if you're walking, and then you jump longer if you're running. But the momentum just feels so weird, and the jumping just feels so stiff. Which is why, as you said, I abuse the shit out of the fluttering mechanic because it's the only way I can get past some jumps.
I don't want to say spin jump because spin jump is from Mario World when you dun 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 dun.
Yeah, and they nerfed that.
Yeah.
They did.
So it's no point. But yeah, that's just my absolute hatred. Just the physics, the controls are just they piss me off.
and with lack of innovation, I will have to say this. I know this probably doesn't count, but I really did not like the All-Stars re-release on the Wii.
Oh yeah, you did talk about
Just
that.
because it's like, it's good that it's, a port of Super Mario, Super Mario All-Stars, but on the Wii. But, retro collecting wasn't much of a thing at the time. So not many people probably had a copy of the game or, Super Nintendo to play it on. But my problem is, for a 25th anniversary title, to give us only Super Mario All-Stars feels incredibly lazy by Nintendo. Like, it could have done more. You could have included more games with it.
Yeah, for a 25th anniversary.
Yeah,
my mistake.
But you're giving the exact same thing that was on the Super Nintendo. It's like not even the one that includes Super Mario World.
That's
the original
problem, because there is I own one, the Super Nintendo carts that are All Stars and World, where you get Mario, Lost Levels, Doki Doki Mario, Mario 3, and Super Mario World. Like,
yes.
That is a good cartridge. I am glad that I own that. But at the same time, you get the Super Mario All Stars on the Wii, which is just the All Stars and not the World. That's, come on. We just spent like an hour talking about how much we love Super Mario World.
And you're not going to give us that?
It just feels like one of the laziest things Nintendo has ever done, in my opinion, for
an
anniversary.
Beautiful.
It was, but I just wish
that's the only reason
there was more games
to
justify buying
normally
it.
I would disagree, because I still appreciate it because it gives people who didn't have a Super Nintendo a chance to play All Stars. But the fact that you are using that title as a 25th anniversary, it leaves me wanting more.
Yeah, you see, that's the problem. It's like
a re-release on the Wii would have been fine if it wasn't the 25th anniversary title. Yeah. But the fact that it was a re-release and it didn't include World and it was the 25th anniversary title, I think it's just kind of like a nice little recipe for
It's like you could do a lot better.
It's a good to have All-Stars, but can I have something else too?
Can I have World?
It's like,
at least,
could you include some of the 3D titles or something?
At least with the anniversary with Sonic 2006, at least they prepared Sonic Genesis. Terrible title, but at least we got a new game for it.
Oh man. Let's save that for the actual Sonic discussion.
All right, on that bombshell, I think we can wrap it up.
My last one.
One more thing.
And that actually goes to the original second Mario game, Lost Levels.
Okay.
It's the same problem I have with a game like Mega Man 9. It feels, not only does it feel too similar to the first one, but it feels more like a ROM hack in terms of design.
I can understand that for Lost Levels.
Like,
Lost
it's
Levels
not satisfying hard, it's just frustrating hard.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the few Mario titles I've yet to beat. Just because I just don't have the patience.
Just throwing your face against some Lost Levels.
It's like I want to have controllers at the end of the day, and a TV to play my games on. But yeah, those are my picks for Mario games I had the least fun with.
I just realized something. Mm-hmm. We all unanimously agree that the new Super Mario games suck.
All right.
Mostly everyone except Nintendo will agree.
Yeah.
On that astounding revelation, I think we can wrap it up here, guys.
Oh, of course.
Thank you very much for listening to our very first episode. We will upload when we upload. We're aiming it every other week. Keep tuned. And we'll figure that out.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. See you next time.
Peace out.